Hello, this is Mallory Havens, and this is Project 3, the Full Critical Analysis. First, some information about the photographer. Ansel Adams was born February 20th, 1902, and he died at the age of 82 on April 22nd, 1984. He grew up only receiving an 8th grade education, so he originally had turned to music as a career, as that's pretty much the only thing that he could do. He had planned to pursue a career playing the piano, but during a family trip in 1916 to Yosemite National Park, he began taking his first amateur photos, and his love for photography blossomed from there. He then became a photo technician for a commercial firm, and in 1919 he joined the Sierra Club, which was an organization that protected the wilderness of the Sierra Nevada. He later became president of the organization in 1936 all the way until 1970. His love for nature really developed there. In 1927, he met Albert M. Bender, who helped him publish his first photographic portfolio, which really helped a lot of his information, and it helped his name get out to the public. In 1932, he became part of the group F64, which was focusing on breaking away from pictorialism and moved more towards modernism. Group F64 was named after pretty much the smallest aperture a camera could go to that got clear detail in the foreground, middle ground, and background of a photograph. The group embraced photography for what it was and focused on pictures with clear, detailed images such as objects and landscapes. The title of this photograph is Moonrise, Hernandez, New Mexico. It is a silver print, and it was taken in 1941. The lighting in this photograph has to be the most important aspect of it. It's the reason that Ansel Adams took the photograph in the first place. He was driving down a highway in New Mexico when he saw the moon rising, but he could still see the cemetery because the sun was still setting and it was light enough to actually see it. He did not have an exposure medium with him while he took the photograph, so he relied basically on his knowledge about the luminance of the moon and quickly calculated the exposures and just took a chance and captured the photo, hoping that it wasn't too dark. With the moon rising and the sun quickly setting, there was just enough light to see the cemetery, but just enough darkness to see the night approaching and the moon rising. The composition of the photograph is also very important. In the photograph, we get a very clear horizon line, and it splits the photo symmetrically, giving us two areas of visual interest. Above, we see the moon rising in the dark, and below we can see the cemetery and the little town still lit up by the sun. Adam purposely framed the photograph so that we can see mostly the sky in the picture, but just enough of the cemetery and the field and the town to see how the lighting from the setting sun was so capable of illuminating the area. Adams actively framed the picture so we can understand the importance of the moment in which he captures this photograph. Ansel Adams had no prior intent to capture this photograph. It was basically all spur of the moment. He was simply driving along the highway when he saw what to him was a very spectacular moment in time. The moon was rising and the sun was setting, and there was just enough light to still see the cemetery below, just enough darkness to capture the moon rising and the night approaching. He rushed out of his car and forgot to grab the exposure meter, but he knew that he had no time to waste, so he simply relied on his knowledge of the luminance of the moon, and he estimated the exposure. And lucky for him, he got a picture. And just to be sure, he wanted to take more than one picture, but when he tried to take another quick picture, he went to look at it and the sun had already set and it was already too dark. So that first photograph was very, very important because it actually got to capture the moment in the scene that it happened. The photograph itself reflects Adams' view on the environment and the wilderness. Adams had a very big passion for photography and a strong love for nature, and this photo represents both. Moonrise, Hernandez, New Mexico, shows what photography is actually capable of, which was pretty much the whole point of Group F64. It was to go towards modernism and to let the camera do exactly what the camera was made to do. And it shows what Adams thought was exactly how amazing nature could be. I believe that this photograph portrayed everything Adam believed in. It's a very modernistic photograph that demonstrates exactly what Adams was trying to reach out and say with his photography. There was nothing in this photograph that would make me see anything that has to do with pictorialism. He simply captured what was right in front of the photograph, and it was very spur of the moment. The framing, lighting, and composition are all very significant to how the picture is portrayed. Say that the cemetery was just a bit darker or the sky was just a bit lighter, this photograph wouldn't be as significant to me because it wouldn't be as spur of the moment like Adams was trying to say. Adams' skill in exposing this photo shows me that he was dedicated and skilled in photography and that he really knew what he was doing. Adams was a man who pursued what he loved and felt strongly about it, and I can see all of that just in this one photograph.